Okay, it says we're live, so we'll give people a second to show up. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Hanukkah, Happy birthday to anybody born this time of year. Happy anniversary to anyone who got married this time of year. There's lots of stuff going on this time of year. All right, so we got 2 people joined. I started the live stream just a little bit early. Julius Caesar, how's it going? Good evening. Yes, indeed. Nice sweater. Oh, thank you. I'm getting festive. This is about as festive as I get dressing up this time of year. Hey, Scott. Hey, Brian. How are you guys doing? What is today? It's Wednesday. I'm officially out processed from the Air Force. Friday was my final out with my squadron. Monday was my final out with the base. So I'm on 2 days of not really having a job. Nothing, nowhere official I have to be, nothing official I have to do. I just have to take care of myself. Hey, Black Bezos, Nowis, Ramies, El Zhang, Juan, Santa Rally Wen. Pfizer just approved the ingestible, the antiviral drug. So I think the market's going to pop just on that news alone. We now have a pill we can take for COVID-19. It can be prescribed. Additionally, Biden announced he's going to put off people having to repay their student loan debt until May or June. So the market has to react positively to those 2 events. So I think the S&P is going to be up huge. I hope you guys did not sell on Monday, on the bad news that Joe Manchin killed the Build Back Better bill. Like, when there's a newsworthy event like that and the market goes red, it's just the short sellers taking advantage of the news. Don't sell when the market goes down like that. I think the Santa rally is real. It's going to be good the next week. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Eric. Hey, Vinu. Best financial YouTuber. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much. We got Debbie. Good evening. How's it going, Debbie? Scott, congrats, man. It's got to be a good feeling. Yeah, it's been almost 6 years of service, but I'm technically on terminal leave, so I'm not officially done, but I'm basically there. Hey, Wes. Happy holidays. Thanks for the content. Just tried my first debit spread. Congrats. That's pretty exciting stuff. Be careful. Travel and invest. What's up, brother? You got to do a live stream sometime. Now that you got your new Blue Yeti microphone, it'll sound pretty good. We got David. How's it going, David? Angel. Feliz Navidad from Mexico. Hello. We got Scott again. Sold some puts. Good. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you sold some puts on some good stocks that should rally hard over the next week. Sergio, how's it going? Eric, were you ever at Vandenberg? Yes. So the tech school training for a nuclear missile operations officer is 6 months at Vandenberg. What was Air Force Base, but now it's Vandenberg Space Force Base. So, Jose, credit card update. What credit cards are in your wallet? I don't know if I want to show you guys here, but yeah, I mean, I've got the U.S. Bank business leverage card. This is a business credit card. I have to spend $7,500 to get a sign-up bonus of $750. Plus, I get like 2x points for U.S. Bank on all purchases in like my top 2 categories. I was just looking for a business card to get a sign-up bonus. I'm moving across the country. I'm going to be spending a ton of money, so I wanted to pick up a card with a very high sign-up bonus. So yep, everything I'm spending is going on that card. Joshua, always love watching you. Happy holidays. Zhang, once again, like the sweater. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sean, Merry Christmas. Bought some options on the dip. Yep, Monday was a buying opportunity. I was already pretty leveraged. I mean, I thought about making a video, guys, but between my Fidelity, Schwab, and Robinhood accounts, the market was red on Friday. It was red again on Monday. From my peak, I think I was down about like $15,000, but it's been green the last 2 days. I basically recovered everything. When you're leveraged on debit spreads and call contracts. It gets very, very volatile, but you just have to have a game plan and stick to it. Sean, okay, chill vids. What's up, Jake? Hope my not is treating you well. You still recommend maxing out Roth TSB contributions? It depends. If you don't want to work until you're 60, make sure that you're also prioritizing investing in a taxable brokerage account that you can live on. That's my general advice. But I personally maxed out my Roth TSP this year. So if you can, yeah, you should. Blake, you bought HCI today. The market is asleep on HCI, guys. It is down. Where is it down to? It's at $85. If HCI gets below 80 bucks, I think I will buy some more. I said I wouldn't in my last video, but I didn't think it would keep going down. And I mean, if it's below $80, the market's basically pricing in that a tip-tap IPO isn't happening. I don't know how that would be possible. I think the announcement is going to come in the first week or two of January, when the IPO date will be, what the details of the offering is. But the fact that HCI was at 140 and now it's down to 85, it's a negative 35% position in my account. But yeah, we'll see. David, do you have an HSA? I don't, because you have to be enrolled in a high deductible health insurance plan to qualify for an HSA. Being in the military, I didn't qualify. But if I get private insurance as a civilian and I have a high deductible plan, yes, I definitely would open an HSA. I recommend them. Sergio, any news on TipTap? Nope, no news. Oh, actually, there was. They bought a local health insurance company in like a couple southern states like Georgia and South Carolina or something. Basically, they just absorbed them into their network. So there actually was a newsworthy event for TipTap, but nothing that affected HCI's share price. Hey, Eric, I hope I didn't miss it. Why are you not long on Apple over 200 by 2023? I think Apple is going to get to 200 and then stay there for a very long time. It's probably going to stay there like eight or 9 months probably. So I don't really want call contracts. Wait a minute. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So my call contracts, the strike is actually at 150, but they're for January 2023. And I think Apple's going to get to 200 and then start trading sideways again. So there's no point in holding those contracts because they're probably not going to go up much in 2022. Vinu got rid of 401k and moved it all to a brokerage account. It was a good move. Trading options. Yep, you can't sell cash secured puts or covered calls in company 401ks. They just don't allow people to do that. Brian, I can't believe Stargate Command is letting you go with all these UFOs in the news. No comment about Stargate Command, guys. Thank you for your support, Eric. I appreciate that. Paul C. Hey, Jake. Sorry about your Capital One rejection. Thoughts on the new Chase business 2% cashback on everything? Waller's Wallet covered that video, and he said that the new 2% business card from Chase, you can't combine those points. You're not earning Chase Ultimate Reward points. You're just earning cash back. So that's a problem if you have like the CSP or the CSR and you like using the portal boost. The fact that you would use that card and they're not giving, you also can't transfer them to transfer partners if you're earning only cash back and not Chase Ultimate Reward points. So we definitely need some clarification on that card. Vinu, yeah, Apple got the $200 target today. Yep, there's a couple different rating agencies and banks that have been saying $200. It's a nice round number. Apple's going to get there eventually. Oh, Target. Wait, no. No, you said Apple. Devi, I too tried my first debit spread based on your video on Adobe. I didn't check Adobe today. I should have. I didn't look at it. So the stochastics are still showing that it's in the oversold range. The %K is over the %D, so it should start uptrending, but it might sell off some more. I don't know if people are done selling Adobe yet, so be careful. Eric, what are your thoughts on Cathie Wood ARC Transparency ETF? Guys, I made a video. I made two videos about Kathy Wood and ARK, and I just don't get it. To deliberately only invest in companies that can't make a profit and are massively diluting their shareholders. It's all hype. It's just kind of a gimmick. Kathy Wood gets paid whether her fund goes up or down. She's taken her 1% cut of all of your money. So I personally don't recommend ARK funds. I don't. I mean, if people are in them, I hope you make money, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Alexis, first time here, Jake. Are you still confident about Berk B? That's my biggest position. Hell yeah, I'm confident about Berkshire Hathaway. That thing's going up. Coca-Cola is also one of Berkshire Hathaway's biggest holdings, and that had a really good quarter. That's up huge. In addition to Apple, every time Apple goes up, Berkshire also has to go up. So Berkshire is at 294. It got rejected last week on the Omicron stuff at the 300 range, but it's definitely going above 300, probably in the next week or two. Jake, how do you feel about EV stocks? There's too many of them. Like, it doesn't make any sense, guys. You know, if Tesla is the best EV maker, then just buy Tesla. But, you know, to say you got to be in 5 different electric vehicle companies when 4 out of 5 of them are probably going to go bankrupt in the next 5 years, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't car companies don't have high profit margins. I would rather be in Adobe or Microsoft, you know, with their 30% margins than a car company that barely makes any money on selling cars. That's just my opinion on EV stocks. Did you ever think about moving internationally? Yes, I mean, I would love to like live in Korea, but I lived in South Korea for 6 years prior to joining the Air Force. But I don't think it would be fair to my family, like my father and my sister. I've already spent so much time living abroad that I really should be closer to home in America, you know, to attend family events. Thanks, Big Jim. It is indeed an ugly sweater. I appreciate that. Debbie, can we see your portfolios from other platforms similar to Schwab, which you have discussed? I have a video coming out soon, and I'll show you guys all my investing accounts, all my positions, everything I'm doing. It'll be like my year recap video. Where are we at here? Oleg, what do you think investing only in FB, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Amazon long term? Uh, I think right now those are the dominant companies, and I don't see the landscape changing. But you know, usually the companies that are number one, number two on the New York Stock Exchange, 10 years later, they're not there anymore. You know, if you look at the 10 biggest companies in the year 2000s, you know, ExxonMobil, Walmart, you know, they're no longer on top. So eventually by 2030, there's going to be new companies that are going to dethrone Apple and Microsoft. It's kind of incomprehensible to think about now, but 8 years is a long time. And I think somebody's going to do it eventually. I don't understand how she became rich with that investment. Talking about Kathy Wood, yeah, I don't know either, Scott. Emperor Palpatine, welcome to the live stream. Credit or debit? I'm not sure I understand. Credit card or debit card? I recommend using credit cards for cash back and points. Credit spread or debit spread? I'm going to lean towards debit spread for now. The more I trade debit spreads, the more I like them, guys. All right, we got our first super chat from Pete E. He's got a question. My Navy Federal Credit Union secured N rewards card max is only at $200. Should I make it high as possible to better my credit score faster? So if you're using a secured credit card, the fact that the limit is only $200, I don't think that matters. What matters is on-time payments, and then all you got to do is be patient. If you didn't have a credit score before, it's going to take about 6 months to basically solidify that. And after 6 months, you can get your deposit back. You can also ask them for a credit limit increase. They'll probably give you at least $1,000. And that's really what you need. Trying to put a larger deposit down on a secured credit card in the short term, I don't think it matters. You just got to be patient and do that 6 months, and then you'll be off to the races. Daniel, long call on Tesla. Guys, the price to earnings ratio on Tesla is still really high. I'll just tell you guys what it is. Price to earnings is 327. Price to sales is 20. I would not be long on Tesla unless the share price was around $400. So it's got to drop in half before I'm interested. But Tesla has proven a lot of people wrong for 2 years straight. So who am I? Who am I to talk? If it could keep going up for sure. Another super chat from Sean Francis, $7. Thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate your videos. Please keep making them. Hope your viewers appreciate and support your channel. That's very kind words, Sean. I greatly appreciate the support. Yeah, guys, I'm not the most flashy finance YouTuber, but I try to be honest with you guys and just provide solid information. Hopefully my catalog of videos over time is still relevant, still helpful for people. John, how many bank accounts and brokerage accounts do you have in total? Thinking about consolidating everything into Schwab. Schwab is my personal favorite, but I do have the government TSP, which is the government 401k. I have a brokerage account with Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, Schwab, and Robinhood, and then a Roth IRA with Schwab. I also have a checking account with US Bank and USAA. So I have a lot of accounts, but someday, maybe when I'm not making as many YouTube videos, I might start condensing those. But for now, I have all these brokerage accounts, guys, because I make all these tutorial videos. I make how-to videos on these different platforms. I like, once again, just offering useful information. I'm thinking about opening an account with M1 Finance. I think they have a pretty good user interface and they offer a good service. So I think if I were to open another brokerage account this year, M1 might be next. Where are we at here? Worldwide Images. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Vinu, closing out ASPS was a good move. Yeah, when I took that position, I assumed there'd be a slowdown in the economy, but the economy is overheating. I think even with the 3 Fed rate hikes, GDP and the economy is still going to keep growing. Yes, inflation is a problem, but if you're holding real estate, inflation is basically baked into the price. So mortgage foreclosures, I don't think are going to uptick in 2022 and possibly 2023. So I just felt like I had to get out of ASPS. Just Rico, thoughts on Nvidia? Nvidia's stock price went crazy because they were going to buy this British chip company, ARM or something, and the UK basically said no to the deal, which is why Nvidia is pulling back. I think it's overvalued, and once again, it took off on the news that it was acquiring this ARM company, but I guess that's not happening. I honestly don't know enough about Nvidia or why it deserves. Let's look at its PDE, guys. 90, it's cheaper than Tesla, but price to sales higher at 30. Wow. Hi, James. How's it going? Raphael, if you have 10K, where do you put it? ETF VOO or index funds? Yeah, you can put it in Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF VOO, or you can put it in State Street's SPY. But you can't go wrong just holding the index, guys. That's basically the mantra on my channel. If you don't know what to do with your money, just put it in an S&P 500 index fund. What is Geronimo? What is the best kept secret as far as stocks go? Uh, don't buy something just because it's going up, and don't sell something just because it's going down. If you want to know what everyone else does, that's what they do. They buy stuff after it's gone up and they sell stuff after it's gone down, and that's how you underperform an index fund. David, have you ever thought about making videos about insurances and in which circumstances someone should get a certain type of insurance? I've made a couple videos broadly about like whole life insurance and term life insurance and like VGLI, but I haven't gotten very specific into like, there's so many different kinds of insurance, homeowners insurance or health insurance or life insurance, not just Yeah, I definitely can talk more about different kinds of insurance on my channel. Eddie, whoa, it jumped. Eddie White, if you were the head of product for a major bank, what's a new credit card that you'd come up with to make some waves within reason, of course? That's a good question. I know Sebi on his channel has talked about this several that he wants to be contacted by one of the major banks to give his input and help design a card that's once again a win-win for the consumer plus the customer or the bank. So I'll have to put some thought into that, Eddie. That's a really good question. I like that question. Zero, are you transferring your TSB to a Roth and traditional IRA? I am. You have to be completely out of service and in non-payment status in order to be eligible to roll your TSP into a an IRA. And in March or April, I will be doing that, Zero. So kudos to you for knowing that that's a thing. Sergio, happy holidays, Jake. Found your channel a few weeks ago. One of the best channels for investing. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Sergio. I appreciate you. Paul C. Jake, is your credit card destruction plan still happening? Are you worried about FOMO after closing all your platinum cards? It's still a go. As soon as my SCR MLA protections expire, that it extends 12 months from my date of separation. As soon as I'm hit with that first annual fee, I'm going to start downgrading and closing all my cards. You know, the perks and the benefits were nice, guys, but I feel like I make enough money now where credit cards are just a hobby. It's just for fun. You know, I like getting free value, but you know, if I have to pay for the stuff that hotels I want to stay at, then it's not a big deal. Ray, thoughts on him and hers socks? I'm assuming like couple socks. Super fun. I always like seeing my friends. You know, the whole family is in like matching pajamas. One of my best friends from college did this, and you know, even the cat and the dog had matching pajamas. It's super cute. Yobani, why were you considering M1 Finance if you wouldn't be able to invest in options from there? I'm thinking about doing a long-term investing challenge, and visually, M1 Finance as a YouTuber looks good on the screen, like looks good for screen recording. Um, as far as trading options, guys, I don't think I'll be trading options on all of my holdings. I think I'll set aside a certain amount of money every year, and that's the only money I'll use for trading options. The rest will be buy and hold long-term investments. And if I were to do M1, those would be individual stock picks where basically I say I'm buying this company, maybe Costco or Adobe, and I'm never selling it. You know, if you saw my video on buy, borrow, die, basically, selling causes capital gains, which causes taxes. So if you can just acquire wealth, buy stocks, and then borrow against it, when you die, you can then pass those stocks on to your children. There's the step up in basis. They then never have to pay taxes. Eventually, guys, I want to be pretty rich, you know, multimillionaire status. So if I can start accumulating securities with no intention of ever selling them, and I'm not going to be trading options because if you sell a covered call, then you could lose the stock. So, yeah, I mean, M1, I think visually as a YouTuber, if I want to talk about these stocks, it would be a good platform to make videos with. Ooh, Big Jim, USAA turned into not good. You should consider banking with Navy Federal. Everyone who uses Navy Federal loves Navy Federal. I don't have a negative opinion of USAA, but I mean, there's nothing keeping me loyal to them. I don't know if I'll keep that checking account once I'm out of the service. The big draw of USAA is you get your paycheck a day before if you were using like a different bank. So, but that doesn't apply to me anymore. Chill Vids, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I knew I was going to get asked this question. And my honest answer, my favorite Christmas movie is The Family Man with Taya Leone and Nicolas Cage. This is not a very well-known movie. I think it came out in like 2001, but sometimes, not recently, but when I was in college, I would just like rewatch that movie because it gave me a good perspective on life. But no, it's not a very well-known movie. So if I had to pick a popular movie, I'd probably go with Elf, Will Ferrell's Elf. I could probably rewatch that every year for the holidays. Debbie, how do you track manage the portfolio in different accounts, Excel or any website? Yeah, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I keep track of just the general numbers and I update it once a month. I have a sheet of paper with all my usernames and passwords because, like, who can keep track of all that? It's kind of hard. Daniel, don't you think Apple and Microsoft are overvalued? Yes, but the whole market is overvalued. And if I have to put my money somewhere, I'd rather put my money in a company that's overvalued, but doing stock buybacks, increasing their dividends, growing still at 20 or 30% a year, in addition to being insanely profitable. So, if you look at certain stocks that don't do buybacks, don't offer dividends, don't have earnings, that are overvalued, I'll take my chances in Apple and Microsoft. Big C, hey Jake, thanks for all the great advice. Happy TSP account holder here. Season's greeting from Southern California. Hey, Big C. Kevin, nice sweater. Enjoy your channel. Thank you, Kevin. Big Bill, how long before PayPal is well rested and a buy? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's look at PayPal. I think PayPal is a great company. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's fallen on hard times. Okay. I mean, so if you look at PayPal's stock chart, I don't have the tech to pull it up for you guys yet, but I will do that next year. It's below all four of its moving averages. It's going to take a while before PayPal starts uptrending. There's no need or rush to buy this stock. We need the 200-day moving average to come down quite a bit before PayPal's a buy. Merry Christmas, Bill. Oh, where'd we go? Brandon, do you use any budgeting apps? And honestly, I don't. I know I don't spend a lot of money frivolously, but at the same time, guys, I don't really track my spending. Like, I just buy what I need and I do what I want. But I'm not a big spender anyways. I don't really go anywhere or do anything these days. Maybe when I get to Vegas, that'll change. We got Than Ohio. Hello from Ohio. Thanks for your video. Merry Christmas, Than. Thank you. Zero. Thank you. I was thinking about transferring mine when I got out of the military. Don't see a good reason to keep my TSB, especially since they force you to make withdrawals. Um, I think are withdrawals mandatory if you roll it to a traditional IRA? I think it's the same. I think if it's a traditional TSB or you roll it to a traditional IRA, there's still age required mandatory minimum withdrawals at a certain point. But if you contribute to Roth, there's not. There's no mandatory contribution, mandatory withdrawals if you've been contributing to a Roth account. Bloody Rose Yuki? Okay, that's a good name. Hi, how do you think Apple and Burke will perform in the next 1 to 2 months? Holding long calls. Thanks for your video on Berkshire. They're going up, man. They both pulled back last week because of the whole Omicron virus crash, spook, whatever you want to call it. But I think both Apple and Burke are going to go up over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks for sure into their January earnings reports. Dina Lohaya? Hey, Jake, one lesson learned this year. I rolled over my old employers to a traditional IRA account. This would have triggered pro rata rules since I also do backdoor. Yeah, you just have to be very careful when you do the backdoor method to get money into a Roth account. I'm not sure exactly what you triggered. I'm blanking here on what I knew what the pro rata rule was at one point, but I'm skeptical here. Big Jim, any updates on your Bitcoin opinion, guys? I don't own any crypto, guys. I've never bought crypto. I want to see how crypto performs in a bear market. When the GDP of the economy contracts and money gets tight and people have to say, I need to sell something to pay my bills. Are they really going to sell their stocks before they sell their crypto? That's the comparison that I want to see between these two asset classes. And my theory, guys, my suspicion is when times get tough, people are going to sell their crypto for cash rather than sell their dividend-paying stocks that are based on the intrinsic value and the equity of a company. Just my theory. If stocks go down, I think institutions would sell their crypto in order to buy those stocks. So, crypto and the stock market are still intertwined. And I think when the stock market is going up, it's good time for the crypto market. It just goes up higher. But when the stock market goes down, the crypto market is going to crash harder. That's my theory. It's going to take a couple years for it to pan out. I want to watch that. If crypto holds up during a bear market in the stock market, then I will make the video saying, wow, this is the real deal, guys. I'm all in on crypto. I'm buying Bitcoin. All right, we got Misael. How's it going? He is a channel member, guys. That's how you get that cool little globe next to your name, and it's highlighted green. Jake, I made this live stream. Merry Christmas. How is your portfolio after these crazy volatile days? Between my Robinhood, Schwab, and Fidelity accounts, I was down from my high of about 15 or 16,000 because I'm so leveraged. But the last 2 days have been green. I basically got it all back. Let's hope that we can get a couple more green days. I've got a lot of outstanding debit spreads that are keeping me up at night, guys. Daniel, hey Jake, thanks for your videos. I now plan to buy and hold long-term on ETFs after I zero out my credit card debt. Merry Christmas. That's a good plan. I love it. Can't go wrong with Vanguard's VOO or State Street's SPY. We got another channel member, Margaret Richardson. Yeah, IRA has required minimum distributions. Traditional IRA, yeah, they do. We got Coyer 551. Do you have a price target on Berkshire B you plan on holding until? I think 320. I think it's going to take maybe a full month for it to get there, but Berkshire is currently at 294. Oh yeah, Berkshire should get to 320 in my opinion. David Sanchez, what music do you listen to? I haven't really been updating what I listen to, guys. I mean, my favorite bands all time, if you guys want to know, is like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters. That's what I listened to in college. But I'm getting old, and I can't really keep up with the new kids and their music. Where are we at here? The Based Yeoman. Merry Christmas, Jake. Thanks for the great info and videos. Thank you so much, Yeoman. Vikas, any thought on Process versus Naspers? Tencent, Pros Us. I'm sorry, Vikas, I don't know what that is. Fast Eddie or Fast Eddie. New to investing, can you recommend a book to read? I think the number one book that anyone should read when they're getting serious about finance investing is Rich Dad Poor Dad by that Japanese guy. I just think it gives you a different mental mindset of how you should be treating your wealth, how you should be treating money. Chillvids, what are you going to do after the Air Force? I'm going to be investing and trading options full time and doing YouTube, and we'll see how that goes for a year. I tell people this and they just don't even believe me that this is a thing I can do to support myself. So I'm also going to be using the GI Bill to finish my master's in international relations. So I'm 4 classes away from finishing my master's degree. I could have done it while in service, but I want to use my GI Bill basically to collect the housing allowance while I'm living in Vegas. Garris, ARK Invest, actively manage Kathy Wood's age over time. Sorry, Garris, don't understand the question. I do not recommend ARK. TJ, Bitcoin has been around for 10 years. Yes, it has, but I mean, who was talking about Bitcoin in 2010? I first learned about Bitcoin in 2012, and this is a true story, guys. I probably should make a video about this, but in 2012, I read an article about it. I thought it was a fascinating idea. And I think one Bitcoin was $36. And I remember thinking to myself, Why would I pay $36 for one Bitcoin? That seems like a huge ripoff. So instead, I downloaded the program to become a Bitcoin miner. I was like, I'm not going to pay 36 bucks for a Bitcoin, but I will, do this whole mining thing with my computer in my free time. It'd be fun to get a free Bitcoin. So I set it up on my computer and it ran for like an hour or two, and then my computer crashed, like crashed hardcore. So obviously, I didn't really have a very powerful laptop back in 2011, and I said, "This is the dumbest thing ever. This is never going to take off." And I kind of deleted it. But I did at one point have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin ID. Like I did all the research to figure it out, and I mean, if I just spent, like a couple $100 and bought 30 or 40 Bitcoins, that'd be pretty hilarious. Where are we at here? Ryan, any finance podcasts you'd recommend? Got a lot of driving for the holidays? That's a good question. If you've never heard of the finance YouTuber Joseph Carlson, I think he's pretty good. His main channel, it's not like a podcast where like two people are talking. He gives narrations of what's going on in the market, what's going on in his portfolio. But I think Joseph Carlson does. He calls his channel the Joseph Carlson Show, and I think he's pretty good. I like him. Where'd we go? Chill vids. What are you gonna do after the Air Force? Just trading full time in YouTube. Wait, where'd we go here? Thomas, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Harple. I bought Baba a couple times at 200, 144, 122, 115. If now I am selling, how to calculate a wash sale? Wash sale only applies if you. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So if you sell the shares you bought at 200, um, I don't know. That's kind of complicated. Because you bought back in. I think it only matters if you sell and then you buy again within 30 days. So if you're ready to start selling, just don't buy within 30 days. But the wash sale is only for tax purposes. It doesn't really matter. JK, are you out of the Air Force? Technically, I'm on terminal leave, but for all intents and purposes, I'm done. Zach Bennett, I consider it a chance of a lifetime to be on this live chat. Love you, Jake. Thank you so much, Zach. How's it going with becoming a chaplain? I can't remember if you already made it to OTS or not. El Zhang, what's your plan for your GI Bill? Use it. I want to finish my master's in international relations. I want to use that. I want to use it to get the housing allowance. I want free money out of my GI Bill. Thomas Wilder, have you read all the books on the shelf behind you? Almost. I've read about 80% of them. I still have a reading list, and there's some books in the middle there that I have not read. But everything on the top shelf, everything on the bottom shelf, and some of the middle I have read. Sean, can you make a video about being leveraged? I'm still unsure of this. I mean, uh, unsure what leverage is, or unsure. I'm not sure what you mean by what you're unsure of. Aaron, what do you think of Square right now? I think Square has been selling off because PayPal has been selling off. But oh boy, that is a strong downtrend according to their chart, guys. I would not be buying Square until it is stabilized and started trading sideways. Oh shoot, we jumped. Where are we at? The Based Yeoman, Jake, what's your opinion on Elon Musk? I think Elon, now that he's the richest man in the world, Time Magazine's Man of the Year. I mean, I really liked everything Elon was doing 10 years ago before he was this popular. But now he's got basically this zeitgeist cult following behind him. And I don't like how he's weaponizing social media. I don't like the way that I don't know. I mean, I understand that's what's making him popular. That's what's getting him recognition, but I wish he would be more professional sometimes and use Twitter less. I just kind of roll my eyes when I see him doing that kind of stuff because I want him to be a serious scientist. I want him to be a professional engineer doing life-changing stuff, not just tweeting out Dogecoin on Twitter to manipulate the price. So I've lost some respect for Elon the last 2 years with all of his antics on Twitter. Misael, Jake, I had a debit spread that was assigned early and I had to pay the dividend on SPY. It was on quad witching. Quad witching? I should have closed it out. It was in the money already. Yeah, that sounds kind of complicated. I'm not sure what you mean by quad witching. So, but yeah, getting assigned early is always a risk. So, choose farther out expirations maybe and take your profit when you can get it. Dan, Merry Christmas. Your content is very informational and refreshing. Love it. And the fact that you are not trying to sell me anything, but sharing what you've learned. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. I mean, someday I want to write a book and I'll mention it on in my videos, but I don't have any courses or emailers or anything like that. I'm not trying to squeeze you guys here. Devi, wash sale, does it applicable for options too or only for stocks? It applies to options as well. Red Matter. Jake, I have considered trading full-time too. I'm in a good position to do that, but the thought of not having a 9 to 5 irrationally scares me. Do you have this fear and how do you deal with it? I definitely have saved up enough money where I know that I can give it a shot, plus I'm making decent income from YouTube. um, if I do it for a year and it goes horribly, the thing about being an options trader or trading options is I can make money when the market goes down. For people who understand put contracts and uh, put debit spreads, I mean, if something is falling, if the whole market goes bear, I'm still going to make a ton of money. And I know people have negative opinions on short sellers and people who do profit from stocks going down, but that's just the game, guys. Those are the rules. And once you understand how to make money going up and make money going down, I just don't see how I screw it up. Zero, can you explain taking loans on assets, especially the whole not selling and just living off loans? I'm confused since eventually you have to sell to pay off the loan, right? So I got a million questions because people just didn't understand. If you have a security backed line of credits or you use margin, there's no monthly payment, guys. You're accumulating interest on your debt every month, but your bank or your broker doesn't require you to make monthly payments. So as long as your assets grow faster than the interest on your debts, the percentage of your account that is debt goes down unless you want to borrow more, and then it goes back up. But as long as your assets outpace the growth of your debt, you never have to pay it off in your lifetime. Now, when you die, your stocks go step up in basis. Your kids inherit it basically tax free. Um, Obviously, you got to get around the estate tax, but it's easy enough. And then, yeah, they can either keep the debt going on the accounts or they can sell assets to pay it off. So, yes, eventually you have to pay it off, but not in your lifetime. Ryan was able to sell covered calls after watching your videos, paid for my Christmas presents this year. That's awesome. Congrats, man. Zunar, when is Burke B going to pop? It is popping. it's a $400 billion company, guys. You know, I think Tesla and Nvidia have warped our opinion of what a mega cap can pop with, but Berkshire has had, let's see here, 10 green days out of the last 13. That's pretty good for a mega cap stock. So just give it another 2 weeks and it'll slowly drift up. James, awesome sweater and Merry Christmas. Thank you. Okay. Hey, we got a super chat from James Thompson. Cool emoji, #1 fan. Didn't have a question, James, but I greatly appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Lee Finalus, can you post a list of books on your shelf? Love to know your reading list. Love the channel. Yeah, I can take a picture and I can post that if you want. I can post it to Twitter and the comments section or the community section of my channel. Zunar, he's a good mix of brilliance and chaos. Okay. JK, are you investing in Roth IRA Bitcoin? At this time, I'm not interested in any crypto. Time to get intense. Quad witching is a day when 4 different markets have options expirations. Oh, see, I learned something new on my own live stream. Thank you so much. James Thompson, thanks for being you. Thank you, James. I greatly appreciate that. That's awesome. Geronimo, why does Qualcomm remind me of a stubborn mule that doesn't want to work? Qualcomm is one of those legacy companies, semiconductors. What are they doing? Let's look at their chart. Okay, so it popped on earnings, it looks like back in November, and it's now channeling sideways between 170 and 190. Makes sense. Love, how do you evaluate stock for short-term trading? I mean, in the short term, anything can happen. Any stock in the short term can go up or it can go down. So in the short term, you have to care more about technical analysis. But in general, I don't like messing around with stocks with terrible fundamentals. So there's 4,000 stocks on the New York Stock Exchange, guys. Pick the ones that are already decent, that you don't mind maybe getting trapped in for a little while. Trade those stocks in the short term. That's just my philosophy. Frank 20. Hi Jake. Do you stop non-profitable stocks like Teledug and Plug? If a company doesn't have a PE ratio, guys, I'm just not interested. I understand you can make a lot of money off those stocks, but to me, they trade irrationally up and down. So I don't have any interest in Teladoc or Plug. John Taylor, love the channel. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, John. Cynthia, can you make a video about RSU and company stocks? I don't know what is the best strategy to hold or sell employer provided stocks. Oh, I guess it depends on who your employer is. If you work for Apple and Apple's giving you company stock, that's pretty nice. But if company stocks, I guess if I worked for a company and they were paying me in company stock, I would immediately sell it in my retirement account and then just buy index funds. You never know. You never know if your company is going to be the next Enron or Blockbusters or Hertz Rent-A-Car. Ohio, Fan Ohio, do you use Fidelity Active Trader Pro? I don't. I don't use any of the trading software. Schwab's is Street Smart Edge. I know TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim is very popular with day traders, but I don't day trade. So I just put my trades when I want to make them into the web browser. Mando, hello. Thank you for your videos. I have a question. I have 90% in the C fund and 10% in the G. Is that good? No, there's no reason to be in government bonds in a retirement account. If I'm assuming you're under the age of 50, but just put 100% in the C fund. That's the S&P 500 index. Keep it there. Don't hold bonds for 40 years, 30 years in a retirement account. The Based Yeoman, do you rely on TA when you are contemplating a trade? And if so, what kind of price action on the chart triggers a buy, a sell? My favorite technical indicator is, well, aside from the moving averages, which are very accurate, is stochastics. That shows basically momentum of a stock, if it's overbought or oversold. I made a video on my channel talking about stochastics. So you want to look at trade volume, you want to look at moving averages, and you want to look at stochastics. Those three mixed together gives you a good indication if something is a buy or sell. Chris Cole, I had a turbulent year. Should I just invest all my money in index funds in 2022? If you want to be able to sleep at night and not stress about individual stock picks you've made or holdings, then yeah, just put it all in the index and don't look at it until, a couple of years maybe before you need that money. Keaton, hey Jake, would you sell losers right before the end of the year or wait for them to recover to offset gains. So I would only sell if you needed to free up that cash to make a better position. So if you think a stock is down, but it's going to recover, like you've done your own analysis somehow, then definitely keep holding it. But there's an opportunity cost in any position you remain in. If a stock is going down or it's trading sideways, a dollar is a dollar. If that dollar can go into a different position that's going up, then there's an opportunity cost in keeping it there. So, two of the positions in my account, Capital One and HCI, are negative. They're negative a lot, but I'm confident that in January for Capital One on earnings and for HCI on this IPO for TipTap, they're going to shoot up. So I'm not selling them. I'm just holding on to them, but it does sting, looking at your account and seeing negative positions. Ooh, George, HCI still not giving any love. Any thoughts? Absolutely nothing has changed about the fundamentals or the prospects of the IPO for TipTap. So just don't even look at it. Don't even think about it until we get the press release saying the details. Kits, hi Jake. Thanks for all your videos. What do you think of OKE? I don't know what OKE is. OK, 1OK Inc. Price to sales 1.9, PDE 18. It's currently selling off. I don't know anything about this company. It's an oil and gas company. In general, guys, I don't mess around with energy companies. They're so fickle and temperamental on the price of oil, and I personally would just avoid it. I don't like trading energy stocks. Zero, thank you so much, Jake. Seriously, I learned so much watching your videos. Thank you. Kevin, you love my flags, my wall tapestries and the flags I keep up here. Christopher Kang, Jake, does the recent announcement of student loan repayments being extended to May change your outlook on the market? Yeah, I mean, I think something like $5 billion a month goes towards student loan repayment every month. So if people don't have to resume those payments, that's $5 billion a month or whatever that they can put into stocks or they can spend, in the stores. So I think it is good for the economy in the short term. But, if our concern is inflation, people resuming their repayments on student loans is a good way to combat inflation. A solution to inflation, guys, that no one is ever going to talk about. I thought about making a video about it as a joke, but I know it would piss people off. But if you're concerned about inflation, you can just raise taxes. If everybody just pays higher taxes, they can't spend as much, and that should control inflation, right? Obviously, I'm not being serious, but it is one of the levers people could use. Where are we? Carlos, what are your thoughts on SoFi? SoFi the stock, SoFi the company, SoFi the credit card. I don't have any opinion on SoFi. I don't use any of their products or services. Mando, thanks for your response. Very appreciated. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Chico, should I take out a 50,000 loan and buy Apple? No, no. Trading on debt, guys. In the short term, anything can happen. I don't recommend. I use margin to sell puts, basically to extend it a little bit more. I could burn myself on those, but to take out a loan to put money into the stock market when it's at all-time highs, probably not a good idea. Yeoman, volume, moving averages, and stochastics. Thanks. Casey New, you are right on the money about Apple. I just bought only 10 shares, but it went up and up. Can't even dollar cost average. Anyways, I join you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Casey and New. Misael, Jake, I contribute 15% to my Roth 401k because you can contribute 19,000, but I have a hard time contributing to a Roth IRA because I don't want to wait that long. I want to retire sooner. What do you think? I'm confused. So if you're contributing to so are you putting money in a taxable brokerage account, buying and holding instead of a Roth IRA? I made a video talking about that. If you just buy and hold in a taxable brokerage account, then you don't pay taxes until you sell, and there's a 0% tax bracket if if you're married and your combined income is under 110,000 a year in capital gains. Rebecca, hi Jake, love your videos. New to selling covered calls. Do you have a good spreadsheet for keeping up with everything? I don't have any kind of spreadsheet that is worth sharing with you guys. I could make a more polished product and eventually share a link in the description of my videos. So we got 150 people in the chat, but only 68 thumbs up. If you guys could give this video a thumbs up, maybe more people can find this live stream. Daniel, how do you manage your leverage with broker? What is your broker covering for you on the money they lend? Do you have a video on this topic? If you want, I did make a video about margin and margin accounts. And basically, when you borrow from your broker because you have a margin enabled account, however much money you have borrowed, you're getting a prorated interest rate for that day. And the interest rate is really slow. I would use margin to buy and sell options, and my interest payments were like 20 or 30 bucks a month. If I can make a trade where I'm making a couple hundred and I got to pay Schwab 10 bucks for the month, I'll happily do it. Lipstick, you got here. Thank you for your live feed. Welcome to the live feed, Lipstick. AG, are you allowed to contribute to both a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA? Yes, you are. The contribution limit of your own money you can put into a Roth 401k is 19,500 this year, but I think it's going up. I think next year it's 20,500. For a Roth IRA, you can put in an additional $6,000 of your own money. Home of the Mad Cow. Where did you go? Hi, Jake. I thought about buying my dog a house, but 3x my HCI holding instead, hoping he doesn't run away. That's pretty good. JK, what is your opinion on the 2022 stock market crash? Every time the market goes down 2%, finance YouTubers are going to clickbait you talking about the great stock market crash of 2022. I forget who made the joke, but, finance YouTubers have accurately predicted 15 out of the last one stock market crashes. So I don't think the market's going to crash. As long as unemployment is low and people can pay their bills, I think company profits are going to continue growing. Stocks will remain strong. I wouldn't be surprised if the year is flat, if it only goes up 5%, or maybe at the end of the year we're down 5%. But is there going to be a crash? No, I don't think that's a good reason to not be holding stocks. All right, so we got a super chat from Devontae Hawkins. I really appreciate the content. I recently graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. Unfortunately, I finished with a 2.6 GPA. Is it worth submitting a package for OTS with a low GPA? Well, mechanical engineering is a very tough degree, and it's a STEM degree, and the Air Force values that. Unfortunately, they value that over, for example, an English degree or a communications degree. So the only way to know is to go talk to a recruiter. You gotta go talk to an Air Force recruiter, and just say this is something you really want to do, and that these are your stats. And I don't think they would automatically disqualify you, but you have to talk to them. Misael, Jake, do you think when the market sells off or goes higher right at close, it's Wall Street smart money? Yeah, I definitely think when the market shoots up in the last 15, 20 minutes, it's because they know that in the aftermarket hours trading, there's probably going to be buying. And when there's a sell-off in the last 15, 20 minutes of the day, they know in the aftermarkets there's going to be selling. So yeah, smart money. I mean, it's probably them. I mean, they're probably manipulating it themselves. In general, guys, I don't trade in the first 40 minutes of the day or the last 30 minutes of the day. That's when all the day traders make their money. But, if I get in and out of a stock position or an option position, I just go right at lunch because all the crazy traders have set their stop loss limits and their buy limits, and I take whatever price I get that day. Rabik, we got another channel member. He's got the symbol next to his name. Hey, I made it to Jake's live stream. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Rabik. Casey New, by the way, I did open Schwab account recently to build passive income with a dividend ETFs and stocks. Pretty cool. Correct. The 401k limit is going to 20,500 next year. DSC, how would you get out of some tech heavy funds that are down 20%? I inherited some last year and want to roll that money into my 3 funds, sell now at a loss, long wait, and break even. Once again, opportunity cost for your dollars. A dollar is a dollar. If something is gone down and you don't think in the near term it's going to go back up, sell it and move it to where you think your money would be better used. Alex, what are your thoughts on the Turkish crisis? Is there an opportunity to learn? I feel kind of bad. Is there something going on in Turkey that I don't? What's going on in Turkey? I feel bad. I don't know what's going on in Turkey. Oh, there's an economic crisis. Erdogan's opponents sense an opportunity. I don't know enough about what's going on in Turkey to make an educated comment about that. Jarko 2. Hi, Jake. After I heard you talk about the book Why Nations Fail, I purchased a copy and enjoyed it. Any other book suggestions? Why Nations Fail is a fantastic, basically, explanation for why the world is the world, why it is the way it is. Any other book suggestions? I mean, if you like history, I really enjoyed Alexander Hamilton by Ron Chernow. That's a very good book as well. If you're American. If you're not American, I don't think you would enjoy it. I do need to make a video talking about my book recommendations. I get asked so many times. Sloppy Mix, thanks for the vids. What should I hold in my Roth IRA at age 18? S&P 500 index funds. You can't go wrong with Vanguard's VOO or State Street's SPY. Devi, Jake, cost basis method for equities, options, and fixed income in Schwab. Which one is best method? First in, first out, last in, first out, high cost. Just do first in, first out. That's fine. If you want to do that. I think that's the default is if FIFO. Basically, if you sell something, you're going to sell the first shares you bought in the event you added to a position. Lantai Nevo, is there any way to set 50% profit GTC for Adobe Debit spread instead of watch for the price to sell to close? I use Thinkorswim. If you use Thinkorswim, you definitely can set a sell limits on a debit spread. I don't have Thinkorswim, but I'm confident that platform allows you to do that. So find a tutorial. There's got to be a YouTuber out there that's made a video about sell limit orders on options. Obviously, that can only happen during the day because you can only trade options when the market is open. Dan, hey Jake, is it more preferable to open a separate individual account for using options, or do you use options on existing individual IRA or retirement accounts? You can't trade options in 401ks that I know of. In my Schwab IRA, once I can purchase 100 shares of State Street's SPY, I'll start selling covered calls on that. But I mean, yeah, you can trade options in an IRA. You just have to apply for approval with your broker. Casey New, what do you think of AbbVie? I don't know. Don't know enough about AbbVie. It has shot up last few days, even during the dip. I mean, isn't this a drug company? With the drug companies, they're just trading so wildly on anything news related to manufacturing or producing something with COVID. So I don't know why AbbVie is shot up. I don't think it's because of fundamentals. I think it's because of news. Misael, Jake, what's the coolest or wildest geology fact you know? Oh, geez. So about 99% of the rocks on Earth are 9 basic minerals: feldspar, quartz, olivine, felds. I'm blanking here. What's the coolest or wildest geology fact you know? I just love. I just love. Uh, if you want to watch a cool video about something related to geological history, check out Snowball Earth. I'm sure there's been some fantastic videos made recently about this historical time period of Snowball Earth. But the theory is that the continents lined up along the equator, which caused runaway glaciers forming at the poles, and the entire Earth was covered in ice. And once the Earth was covered in ice, volcanic activity built up carbon dioxide in the oceans until the point where there was enough buildup that it burst through the ice caps. And then there was this flood of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, caused runaway global warming. All the ice melted. The earth was entirely covered in water. Then limestone production increased as sun was shining on shallow marine environments. All the CO2 basically got sucked out into limestone deposits. Then the process repeated. The earth fluctuated to being covered in ice to being covered in very hot oceans a bunch of times, and this corresponded with the Precambrian explosion of life. So the theory is that there was this fluctuating between extreme hot and extreme cold, and this was about 550 million years ago. And prior to this event, there was only single-celled life, archaic and eukaryotic bacteria. But these extreme hot and cold events, the theory is that this is what spurred multicellular life. Because once the snowball Earth event stopped, we got the explosion of the biodiversity. We got vertebrates, invertebrates. We got mollusks. We got all the kinds of different forms of the basic forms of life that we have today. And that life never would have happened without the events of snowball Earth. So that's one of my favorite stories from geology. If you guys want to find a video, there's other people that have talked about it. Ruben, is there a backstory for the sweater, or did you just get it from a store? Just got it from a store. Juan, is the iron butterfly same as the wheel strategy? No, the wheel strategy is selling cash secured puts until you're assigned. Once you're assigned, you sell covered calls. Once you lose your stock, you go back to selling cash secured put. That's the wheel strategy. The iron butterfly is to sell credit spreads out of the money and then hope the share price of the company doesn't move. Lipstick, there is always something bad happening in Turkey. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into Turkey, but Turkey can't decide if it wants to be a Western democracy or a Middle Eastern authoritarian regime. There's moments of flash where it seems like it wants to join Europe and embrace capitalism and democracy, and then somebody gets elected who's a populist, and he's like, no, I think women shouldn't have rights, and we shouldn't have free speech, and the courts, it should just be whatever I want and how I feel today. So Erdogan is definitely a dictator, guys. Jackson Welsh, what are your thoughts on China, Taiwan, Ukraine, Russia? I think they're coordinating it. I think Russia and China are talking to each other, and they're saying, "Hey, Russia, if you bum rush into Ukraine, we'll seize Taiwan. We'll do it at the same time. The U.S. can't respond to both of us at the same time. We both get what we want." I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be smiling. This is a very serious topic. But, either Russia is saber rattling to get concessions or they're serious. They're serious about actually doing it. and if they do invade the Ukraine, I don't see how tens of thousands of people don't die. That'd be the biggest military action, I guess, since the United States invaded Iraq. But Russia isn't going to do it I mean, they're actually invading it. They're actually going to be occupying with hundreds of thousands of their soldiers. So, Rabik, what's the flag behind you? This is the people's flag of the city of Milwaukee. Coyer, any thoughts on mutual funds versus index or ETFs? So, an index fund is just a fund that tracks an index, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, the S&P. So, mutual funds are purchased directly from a broker, Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab. And mutual funds can be actively managed or they can be passively managed. If they're passively managed, they're an index fund. ETFs, you can buy and sell in real time on the New York Stock Exchange. So, mutual funds, you buy directly from a brokerage company. ETFs are basically shares of those funds that you can buy with any broker for free on the New York Stock Exchange. So, I like ETFs, but I get it why some people do mutual funds still. It's more hands off for basically just passive investing. Lipstick, what about Pawn Stars? I mean, sometimes I click around on YouTube and I'll watch a clip. If I got 5 minutes to kill, I'll watch a Pawn Stars clip. I love it when people bring in fake stuff and then the pawn shop owners have to tell them it's fake. Jark, hello from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, very American. Marla, what should I buy in my Roth IRA? 5 years away from retirement. I would still just buy S&P 500 index funds. You can go with Vanguard's VOO or State Street's SPY. Gabriel, hello, how's it going? Tao Nadage, what's your view on Our Rich Journey and FIRE? It's the married couple that did FIRE and then moved to Portugal. So, yeah, I mean, they did it just by buying and holding Vanguard mutual funds. So, I think their channel has like 600,000 subscribers. So they're very successful. They're obviously making really good money from YouTube and they've got a good format. They've got a good relationship. So, yeah, it's a good channel. Joe, what should a healthy 83-year-old invest in? That is complicated, Joe. It depends on, why are you investing? Are you investing for yourself or are you investing for, yeah, I mean, it entirely depends on what your goals are and what your current financial state is. Ooh, Wolfgang, good to see you. Hi, Jake, made it to your live stream. That you did. Ray, hello, Jake. What has better returns long term, index funds or REITs? And which one is more liquid? I mean, if you're buying crowd-funded REITs, is that something you can buy on the New York Stock Exchange? I guess I don't understand what you mean by a crowd-funded REIT. So, but if without knowing what that is, I would just recommend index funds. Daniel, have you traded SPY options after the video you did? I do. In my Fidelity accounts, I still own shares of SPY. I sell covered calls when I think the market is overbought. If the market takes a dip like it's done twice in the last month, I then buy to close those, wait for the market to go back up, sell covered calls again. Vikas. Can a credit spread exercised early by the investor on the other side? How about a debit spread? They can, but nobody should ever be doing this. People who exercise options early, they lose value. If you buy to close or sell to close, you always get more money than exercising early. So I don't know why that would happen, but it is possible. People can do it. Ace Channel, what do you think about BABA? The moving averages still have to come down. I think this stock is going to keep. It actually does look honestly like it's been trading sideways for about a month or so. So that's encouraging news if you do own it. But the 200-day moving average is still at 188, and I mean it's got to come down to 150-ish probably before BABA makes a recovery. Casey New, thank you for your time and conducting this Q&A live stream. Love it. My last question for you today is, when you sell covered calls, how far do you go? 2 months or 6 months? For selling covered calls, if yeah, I do 1 to 2 months in the future. That's when theta decay starts ramping up, and you get most premium from selling the contract. Pablo, hello from Tucson, Arizona. Hi, Pablo. Misael, Jake, how old is the Earth? 6,000 years. JK, billions, right? The Earth is 4.6 billion years old. We can prove it with, I think we've radioactively carbon dated zircons in Australia going back a couple billion years. And, the evidence of how old the Earth is all over the moon, too, with how many impacts, you see in craters on the moon. The early formation of the solar system was very volatile. And even though we're tectonically active and it wipes away a lot of geological history, there's still so much evidence all around everywhere of how old the Earth is and how long life has existed on it. So, Jake, is it a good move to start buying SPY right now at all-time highs? If you're buying and holding for the long term, yes, don't even question it. Time in the market beats timing the market if you're investing on a long enough time scale. Wolfgang, who's your favorite sci-fi author? Oh, geez, should I cheat and just say Kurt Vonnegut? That's such an easy answer. But I've read probably 6 or 7 Kurt Vonnegut books. I think he deserves a lot of respect. Other science fiction authors. I don't know if I've read enough science fiction, honestly. I've read Philip K. Dick, and I've read, obviously, a lot of dystopian books like 1984, Fahrenheit 451. What else have I read that's science fiction? I guess I can't recommend a specific author. I guess I've only read like random one-offs of people's best work. Brian Moon, you think like a strategist. I try. Lipstick, true about Russia and China. It's never going to be enough, guys. If you give a mouse a cookie, if China successfully took Taiwan, then it would start complaining about how Vietnam was always part of China, or, how Mongolia was always part of China. Like, they're just going to want something next. Same thing with Russia. And if they seized Eastern Ukraine, and they want the Baltics back. They want Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia. Like, they're never going to stop. You can't, when your politics are run on nationalism can only sustain itself through military action. For a strong leader to look tough, they have to beat on people weaker than them. That's just what authoritarians do. So when you talk about Russia and China, you have to stand up to those guys because they're never going to stop. Jared, can't stay long, but enjoy your channel. Thank you so much, Jared. Jackson, could you explain why Berkshire B's price did not rally after Apple's? Just the whole Omicron variant nonsense the last 2 weeks, but Berkshire is fine. But yeah, if 40% of Berkshire's holdings are Apple, and Apple's gone up 18% in the last month, then Berkshire should go up at least 9. So, but once again, Coca-Cola is also doing well. Verizon's also doing well. Berkshire owns a lot of Verizon, and it looks like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon are going to finally stop dropping at least. Sean, you talked about whole life insurance before. Can you touch on universal indexed life insurance? Doesn't sound like a good idea. If the insurance companies are putting it out, then there's going to be fees, and you're going to get a worse return than if you just bought index funds yourself in a taxable brokerage account. So I'm not entirely sure what you mean by universal index life insurance policy, but I guarantee you're losing money. Don't do it. JK, if you are 70 years old, should you not be in the stock market? Just enjoy life? Depends. Some people who are 70 plan on living to be 90. And, if you have earned enough and you just want to cash out and you think you can budget, 10 or 15 more years confidently, you're still collecting Social Security. So, maybe a pension of some kind. El Zhang, what car do you drive and what's your dream car? I think you asked this question the last live stream, or somebody did. I don't know what my dream car is. I don't really think about that kind of stuff. I don't really have any luxury goods or luxury items, but part of me just wants to answer BMW. I've always kind of liked BMWs, but currently I have two cars. I have a 2012 Honda Civic and a 2015 Kia Soul. So these are not very luxury feeling cars, guys. But eventually I will upgrade and get something nice. I should buy an electric vehicle next. Bambi, Babani. What is your age? I am currently 37 years old. Hose, that's a good name. Merry Christmas. Whoo, Sean. Hey, Jake. First time, long time. Thoughts on Fidelity Go, the robo-advisor, Roth IRA selections. If you want to go with a robo-advisor, they're going to put you in international funds. They're going to put you in probably a total bond market index. I don't like robo-advisors because, once again, they put you in international, they put you in bonds. I would rather you just bought and hold a total stock market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. Time to get intense. Jake, I've been early assigned surprisingly often on put spreads. Usually on the ex-dividend date, feels like I'm being financially trolled. They should just sell the option, right? I don't get it. Yes, they should just sell the option. People who are doing that, they're net losing money. I don't know why they do that. Artur, hi, what do you think about deflation in the near future? How will it affect the market? Well, we're experiencing inflation, so I don't think we have deflation in the near term. So I'm not sure I understand your question. Lan, your disclosure tell me you didn't go to school in finance. Are you a self-learner? Yes, I'm entirely self-taught. I have a bachelor's of science in geology and my master's is in international relations. So prior to 3 years ago, guys, I didn't know anything. 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, didn't know what a 401k was, didn't know what an index fund was, didn't know anything about anything. So I'm entirely self-taught, self-learned, and hopefully, as I learn something, I can make a video for you guys and share that information with the fresh perspective of somebody who just learned it. People who are professionals who have been in the business a long time, I think it's easy to forget what you didn't know, and you lose that perspective when trying to explain it to other people. Oz Wealth, hi Jake, how's it going, Oz? AG, Jake, absolutely love your videos. Do you think we will ever see options contracts for less than 100 shares? It wasn't long ago. No, I think options contracts are going to stay at 100 shares. The answer is stock splits. If it's 100 shares and the stock price is $50, that's manageable. But if it's Amazon, then 100 shares to sell a covered call is not manageable. So Amazon, needs to do a stock split. Google needs to do a stock split. Oz, hi Jake, question on the Air Force. I have an architectural degree from overseas. Do you think the Air Force will let me in with my qualifications? Architectural degree from overseas. I guess it depends on the school. And you got to talk to an Air Force recruiter to figure out what are the schools. So there's lots of schools that qualify for the GI Bill. You could probably cheat and look at the list of what schools qualify for use by the GI Bill. And I imagine if you use one of those schools, good enough for the GI Bill, maybe good enough for the Air Force. I don't know. If somebody went to Oxford or Cambridge, I'm sure the Air Force would love to have them. But if you went to a school maybe in Trinidad and Tobago, I don't know. DSC, my wife is 5 years younger. We both have Roth IRAs, but can max both every year. I can max one, maybe half the other. Should one take priority or just equal splits? There's no disadvantage to splitting it. So if you guys want to just split it, if you can't max out the full 12, you can do 4 and 4 or 3 and 3, whatever you guys want. But there's no advantage to focusing on one over the other. Oh, we jumped. Where are we? Mohammed, hey Jake, you did a great job in your challenge account earlier this year, and I learned a lot. Would you please repeat this for 2022? I am. I am going to do it again, but we're probably going to wait to start until February 1st because I'm in the process of moving out of this apartment and finding a place to live in Las Vegas. So the next month is going to be pretty stressful for me, guys. Jackson, I've been looking at the Mustang Mach-E. Too bad the infrastructure sucks. Bought a lot of Ford stock, April 22, up over 200%. Ford's going crazy. Ford's market cap is going to overtake GM. Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends on how their electric 150 is going to do. We'll see. Tom, have you ever done rock hunting? Not sure what rock hunting is. I mean, just rock collecting. I do have a couple rocks in my house that I've collected that I think are interesting. So yeah, maybe I have done rock hunting. Blake, hey Jake, thoughts on using Roth IRA as both a retirement vehicle and a secondary emergency fund? You can take out contributions to a Roth IRA after 5 years. You could use it as an emergency fund. But if you take money out of a Roth IRA, you can't put it back in. So in general, I advise against this. So should you be using it as an emergency fund? I don't think so. I don't agree with that strategy. Jared, what do you think about buy now, pay later and a firm stock? I was thinking about shorting a firm based on delinquency rates. Honestly, I don't know anything about a firm stock or their buy now, pay later policy. Buy now, pay later. Yeah, it seems like something like that would have high delinquency rates. Depends on what their qualifications are. All right, guys, we got 150 people watching, but only 129 likes. If you guys can give this video a like, I greatly appreciate it. 33. Hey, Jake, what is your take on Sens? I don't know what Sens is. Super NES? Super Nintendo? No, that's not what that is. Sens Sonic Holdings. Is this healthcare and diagnostic research? Doesn't have a PDE, guys. Price to sales is 88. Whatever this is, it looks horribly overvalued. They should have this FDA approval coming out before end of the year. Check out videos later. I mean, this looks like a penny stock. It's only $2.50. So I really only tangle guys with large cap S&P 500 stocks. I don't do IPOs or SPACs or speculative plays. Vikas, last question for the year. I am thinking about buying a 1+ year out credit spread to earn a good premium and also limit the risk losing the collateral. Any thoughts on this strategy? Depends on how bullish on the company you are. A credit spread, well, 1 year to earn a good premium and also limit the losing collateral. I need more information. I need to know how far out of the money, what company could be good, could be bad. I need more information, Vikas. Corey's Cash. My brother is starting a YouTube channel. What advice would you give to him? Have a consistent upload schedule. I've uploaded 410 videos on my channel in 2.5 years. I upload every 48 hours. They're not all winners, guys. I try to provide good information, but I think a lot of people start a YouTube channel. They'll make 5 or 6 videos. They don't go viral. They get frustrated and they quit. I had to make 60 videos before I hit 1,000 subscribers. And that took me 6 months, 6 months of just looking at my analytics and being like, yep, got 15 views today. This is great. So in the beginning, it's really slow, but you just have to be consistent and keep going. Patel, share your thoughts on HCI Group. hasn't changed since my last video. We're just waiting for the press release on the TipTap IPO details. James McLean, isn't Berkby fundamentally worthless? They don't and will never pay a dividend, and you can't even turn over shares to get the underlying shares as you can with an ETF. No, Berkshire B is a company that has revenue. They own Dairy Queen, they own Duracell batteries, they own like 60 different small companies that have sales and are growing and are profitable. They have a large stock portfolio, and they don't pay dividends because they do stock buybacks. Warren Buffett has talked about this, that he doesn't like paying dividends because this is a taxable event. If you use company profits to buy back shares, you increase your equity, the share price will drift up. And that's not a taxable event for the shareholders, but paying a dividend is. So that's why Berkshire has never paid a dividend. Robbie, when you're in Vegas, will you meet up with Graham, Stefan, and Andre? I think Graham, to get on his podcast, I mean, you got to do something big. You got to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Maybe I'll get there eventually, but honestly, I think the path those guys have chosen, the Millennial Money Crew, they're what was Graham's most recent video? It was like how to be a millionaire in 1 year or something ridiculous. Let me find the title of this video. What how to become a metaverse millionaire in 1 year. It's such clickbaity stuff, guys. Like 2019 Graham changed my life. The videos he was making taught me enough to get going in this sphere. And the stuff he puts out now, these titles, these thumbnails, I just can't click on them anymore. It's painful. So, will I become friends with those guys? Will I collaborate with those guys? I don't think so. I think they're more interested in cross-pollinating with other channels that have millions of subscribers to get their viewership over to theirs, but they're very successful. Wayne J official. Hey Jake, IRBT is back to a pre-pandemic price. Do you like them long term? I do not know what IRBT is. IRBT, iRobot Corporation. I mean that's a pretty strong downtrend for their chart. I don't know what that is. I'm not interested. Sorry. uh, Charlie Vergis. Hey Jake, time to buy Alibaba. Nope, you got to wait for that 200-day moving average to come down. Alibaba is still below all four of its moving averages, meaning that as soon as it touches one, it could be a trigger for a selling event. I would give Alibaba another 6 months before it starts uptrending. Joe Reese, investing for fun. My wife passed away recently. Sorry to hear that. Presently investing in options, not planning on leaving much to kids as they are all successful. Account is about 200,000. Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy some good stocks and start selling covered calls for $200,000, I mean, you can buy maybe 300 or 400 shares of SPY and then just sell a covered call on it every month and be making almost $2,000 a month in premium on selling covered calls on State Street's SPY. That makes me happy. I don't know how crazy you want to get with your account, Joe, but $200,000 can earn you great premiums just selling covered calls on the S&P 500. Tao, hi Jake. I have money in Vivifax. If I wanted to invest in something else, what would you do? Also, I want to buy a house in the next 3 years. Vivifax is Vanguard's S&P 500 mutual fund. That's all you really need, man. Something else, it's up to you. If you love certain companies, or you think certain companies will outperform the broader index, and you want to sell a little bit of Vivifax in order to buy maybe a little bit of certain companies, maybe like Apple or Adobe or Costco. But if you want to just stay there, just stay there. Scott, would you take the tax hit moving a traditional TSB to a Roth in order to trade options? You can trade, you can move your traditional TSB to a traditional IRA and then trade options in your traditional IRA. You don't have to take a tax hit for that, Scott. Just transfer your traditional TSB money to a traditional IRA. Jose, to buy and hold, would you go SPY or VTI? I would go SPY. I would. Last week on my channel, guys, I made the video why I thought small caps were underperforming. It's definitely because of all of these IPOs and SPACs that are basically just money grabs. They're just scams, guys. And unfortunately, VTI, the total stock market index, has to buy all of these IPOs. It has to buy Rivian when its market cap is $100 billion. What do you think are going to happen to all those shares in a total stock market index fund after they buy a car company that hasn't sold a car yet? D just gave you a like. Got 2,000 AMC shares. Is it bad to write a covered call against it? I don't know what the option premiums are like anymore for AMC. Obviously, as AMC's share price goes down, fewer people are going to be trading it. Trade volume is going to go down. I can't predict. No one can predict what the meme stocks will do in the short term. Sats, where are we at? We got a super chat, $2 from Vikas. Thank you so much, Vikas. I greatly appreciate the support. That is a very generous donation. I like the emoji as well. It jumped. Juan Ji, annyeonghaseyo. I say hello. I can still read Hangul. James Thompson, Lords of Finance looks good. I was always looking into money and finance books. Vatu Varu, I love watching your videos. Thank you for putting them out. I hope to see more of your content. I'm going to be going strong, guys, in 2022. There's 365 days a year. I'll definitely upload at least once every other day. So, yeah, I think a good goal would be to make 200 videos next year. Just to follow up on Berkby, I understand that they are a profitable company. What I don't understand is how an individual investor can access the value other than hoping for a greater fool. Well, they do stock buybacks. That's how they return profit from the company to shareholders, by increasing your equity. But every stock is just the greater fool theory. I mean, everybody who buys a stock hopes that somebody will pay more for it tomorrow than they paid for it today. We're all dependent on this greater fool premise where, do stocks really have value if it's supposed to mirror the intrinsic value or the book value of the equity in a company? We're all playing the same game here, and Berkshire B is one of the most successful companies of all time. So it's a premium brand. Harple, love to hear you promote your channel with other YouTube, grab more subscribers. Thank you so much, Harple. I appreciate that. Core 551, do you think HCI will hit support before the announcement? Looks like the institution owners are the ones selling. Actually, it's the opposite. Institutions are buying and holding. It's probably all the retails investors who are selling HCI. But I think $80 is as low as it'll go. If it goes below $80, then basically we're back to just what HCI, the real estate company in Florida, is worth. So I don't care. I mean, if it gets below 80, I might buy 50 more shares. It's gonna pop as soon as we get the press release in January. Is now a good time to buy Verizon? I think Buffett bought it somewhere around 55 to 60. I think because AT&T screwed up by cutting their dividends and spinning off Time Warner to Discovery, sectors trade together. And because AT&T is down 35% from its 52-week high, that dragged down Verizon, that dragged down T-Mobile. Those stocks have been in a downtrend for a very long time. But I think as we get into January, people are going to start picking up those stocks again. One, because what's the downside risk if they've already been falling so far? Plus, those stocks, they do buybacks, they pay dividends. Institutions are going to snatch them up. So, yeah, I think Verizon is probably a good play. The technicals don't look good because it still looks like it's in a downtrend, but I think institutions are going to start uh, pivoting to stocks that were down big this year that, once again, are solid companies going forward. Vinner210210. Hey, Jake, new subscriber. Welcome to the channel. Thoughts on Q yields or other covered call dividend ETFs? They don't perform well, and I don't understand why. I don't know the buying and selling mechanics of covered call dividend ETFs or whatever, but you look at their performance and it's terrible. You're better off just holding index funds. Sir Henry, Jake, don't know if you addressed this already, but do you see a significant pullback in the market? No, I don't. The economy is growing, revenue at companies is increasing, unemployment is low. Everybody who wants to work can work, and they can pay their bills. They can buy stuff in stores. There's no reason. There's zero indication that there will be a stock market crash anytime soon. If that changes, guys, based on the fundamentals, I will tell you. Joe Reese, thanks. I watch all your videos. Have a PhD in physics. Awesome. And I worked at the Department of Defense most of your career. Worked at Area 51 two different times? Geez, Joe, that's impressive. I'd love to have a conversation with you sometime. So maybe you've seen my Bob Lazar videos. I've got another one coming out Friday, guys. So check out my Bob Lazar video going live on Friday. Jake, you mentioned that Disney needs to give up on theaters and go to streaming, but HBO Max same day experiment this year was a failure. Why was HBO Max's same day experiment a failure this year? Their same day releases is the only reason why I haven't canceled my HBO Max subscription. Matrix 4 came out today on HBO Max. I'm not paying to go to the theaters. I'm going to watch it on HBO Max. Does that justify the $12 a month I'm paying for it? Yeah, I think so. One decent movie a month. They had Suicide Squad. They had Kong versus whatever. What was the other big ones they had this year Dune. Yeah, I watched Dune on the same day release. I feel kind of bad because I probably should have gone to theaters to support it because I wanted to support it, but I think movie theaters are in trouble, guys. I think movie theaters are going to be reserved for basically cult classics and, movies that have already been out for a while, but they're just going to bring back movies. Going to the movies is an event, but I think for the most hyped new content, Netflix has changed the game. Netflix has changed everything. The fact that every time I open Netflix, they're hitting me with new stuff. How does Disney and Time Warner compete with that? They have to have more content going directly to the platforms. Otherwise, they can't compete with Netflix. Worldwide Images, what do you think about Meet Kevin? Meet Kevin, very successful guy, but I can't watch his videos. I mean, he can make he's a talker. I mean, he's very gifted in that he can just talk and do everything in one take and immediately get it uploaded to the channel. But is he providing useful information? No. He'll make a video and talk about whatever he'll make a video about anything and just talk for 8 minutes. And when I watch the video, I'm like, did I learn anything from this video? Maybe I'm being too hard, but I like more data-driven focused videos rather than story narratives. I think a lot of finance YouTubers want to report on stories, but a newsworthy event or a story doesn't mean anything to me until it shows in the technicals or the fundamentals, the financials of the company. I don't like speculating what if on a news story, but that's what's easiest to understand. And I think that's what people gravitate towards. They want narratives, they want good stories, or they want bad stories, and then they want to trade on feelings that they get from those stories. And that's just not who I am. That's not what I do. And we'll see. The Federal Reserve video was very insightful. Yeah, I was hoping that video would get pushed by the algorithm, maybe give my channel a boost, but it got 6,000 or 7,000 views, and it's good. JK, my TSP distribution, 70C, 15I, 15S. Should I just go 100% C? Yes, that's what I recommend on my channel, just 100% C. But if you see next year the S is outperforming the C, don't switch it back. Don't jump from the funds because one fund is doing better this year. That you're then buying high and selling low. So if your game plan is the C fund and you're going to hold it another 10, 20, 30 years, just do it. Don't think twice about it. Don't second guess yourself. If you see the I fund going up, don't chase the gains. You've already missed them. So get a game plan, stick with it. John, also 50/50 CNS. I plan on rolling with it long term. What's your opinion? If that's your game plan, stick with it. The C fund is up 26 or 27% this year. The S fund is only up 10%. You're committed. Just stick with it. Victor, what books or audiobooks do you recommend on finance? God, I got to make this video. If you're brand new to finance or investing, first book I recommend to everybody is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Number one book I recommend right now. All right, guys, it's 8:40. I have been talking for almost 2 hours, so I think we got to call it a night. I'm losing my voice. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining the live stream. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the support. I wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Looking forward to 2022. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Have a good night.